Can you believe that this has been right here in front of our eyes this whole time? And we never knew it. We never saw it. Right here in the Word. The world is reading the Word incorrectly. Well, I want to say backwards, but that would be giving them too much credit. The world is reading the Word, well, blindly for one, but they must not be reading it. Let me show you what I'm talking about. The answer to life, to you living, is right here. And I'm going to show it to you, prove it to you. All you got to do is listen and pay attention. I know for most, most people nowadays, they want a 20-second TikTok. I understand. I don't get it, but I understand. But for those of you who want to live, you'll pay attention, while the rest dips and shows us their Nikes, and they miss out on life because they didn't have enough patience for it. Watch this. In Micah chapter 2, I'm just going to read this here to you. Chapter 2, verse 4. What a coincidence. In that day, one shall lift up a proverb against you, and he shall lament with a bitter lamentation, and shall say, we have been utterly ravaged. He changes the inheritance of my people. How he removes it from me, he apportions our fields to the backslider. That should let you know that without your inheritance, which is land, without it, you are utterly ravaged. And I understand that the world, they just can't believe that. I get it. I mean, no, I don't get it. I know. I hear you. I know the world don't like thinking about getting their inheritance. But without it, you're utterly ravaged. This whole book of Micah tells you what happened, and it'll tell you what's going on in the world today. Look, and they coveted fields and seized them, also houses, and took them away. And they oppressed a man and his house, a man and his inheritance. I've been telling you that the whole Bible is saying the same thing. And I can prove it to you. It's been, a couple weeks since we read Micah? And this is what it takes, folks. You got to be reading this hardcore. You got to be all Uncle Hardcore on this word and tremble over it. Watch how this word, if you have the patience and you want to break it down with me and reason together with me, watch how this word is going to explain the world events that's going on right now to you. And it's going to explain the state of the believers, the state of mind that they're in, and how blinded they are. And it's going to show you the way out, an instant out, and you can do it. Anyone can do it, and you can have your inheritance guaranteed. Watch. Chapter 1, verse 1, Micah. The word of Yahuwah that came to Micah of Moresheth in the days of Jotham, Ahaz, Hezekiah, sovereigns of Yehudah, which he saw concerning Samaria and Jerusalem. Hear, all you peoples, listen, O earth, and all who are in it. And let the Master Yahuwah be a witness against you, Yahuwah from his set apart Hakal. I'm going to let you in on something. What he's talking about in verse 2, how he is going to be a witness against you is found in the last part of that verse. He says Yahuwah from his set apart Hakal. That's how he's a witness against you, just like I've been saying. Notice how in the beginning of verse 2 he says, "O earth." Remember how I've been telling you that a lot of the word, a lot of this is directed towards the earth, and that's for a reason. This is all about our inheritance and how the enemy has utterly ravaged us and oppressed us by taking it away from us and blinding our eyes, putting a veil over our face and hiding it from us and giving us a counterfeit. The whore of Babylon, not the wife of our youth. So how he's a witness, just like I've been saying, the word, the Messiah is the word, the Lamb. He showed us to go back to the house, and that's what the Most High desires. And he came and showed us how to do what the Most High desires, how to follow the Most High's will throughout your life, and not your own or anyone else's. That's what the Messiah showed us. The reason he's called the Lamb is because it's the Passover Lamb. You have to be in the house at the appointed times or you're not family. That's just how it is. And everyone gets the choice to come and be part of the family. But the world is choosing not to. So just like the Most High has been showing us, what I've been relaying is how he is trying you in these end times is from his Hakal, from his house. The Hakal means the dwelling place, where he dwells forever. He's a witness against you because if you're not there on the appointed times, that's the witness against you. And the word told us from front to back, Messiah came and told us, lived the life out for us so we could see how to live. It's been written down, black and white. The blueprint's been given to us, and it's been explained so thoroughly and easily. It's so easy. Any child could do this. But the reason the world don't, just think about why the world won't do this. Think about why you're refusing to hear this out. And I promise you, I assure you, it's going to be nothing but nastiness. It might not seem that way at first glance, but once you dissect the reason you can't come or the reasons you can't do this, you're going to see that it's evil. For look, Yahuwah is coming out of his place, and he shall come down and tread on the high places of the earth. And the mountains shall melt under him, and the valleys be cleft as wax before the fire, as waters poured down a steep place. All this is for the transgression of Jacob and for the sins of the house of Yasharal. So all what is for the transgressions? What he just said. Him coming down on the mountains, on the high places. And the mountains melting under him. But this is all code, my friends. This isn't literal. This is riddles. All this is for the transgression of Jacob and for the sins of the house of Yasharal. What is the transgression of Jacob? See, right here. Is it not Samaria? That's the transgression. You've been utterly ravaged and your inheritance has been hidden from you. And we've been caused to do this. We were led astray. We didn't choose to walk away from our home. This is what happened to us. So the transgression, is it not Samaria? And what are the high places of Yehuda? Are they not Jerusalem? And I shall make Samaria a heap in the field, places for planting a vineyard. And I shall pour down her stones into the valley and uncover her foundations. Her stones. And like I say, these are all key words, code words. Uncover her foundations. You're going to see that what's been happening since October 7th in the news it's talked about right here. This is what he's talking about when he said he's going to uncover her foundations. And all her carved images shall be beaten in pieces, and all her harlot fees be burned with the fire. And all her idols I shall lay waste, for she gathered it from the harlot fee of a whore. And they shall return to the harlot fee of a whore. Because of this, I lament and howl. I go stripped and naked. I make a lamentation like jackals and a mourning like ostriches. For her wounds are incurable. Her wounds are incurable. That's the mark of the beast, that grievous wound that could be healed, but the world won't let it. And we just seen how we're utterly ravaged is the inheritance. It's the land. It's our home. For her wounds are incurable, for it has come to Yehuda, it has came to the gate of my people, to Jerusalem. What has came to the gate? Her wounds has came to the gate. Do not declare it in Gath. Weep not at all in Beth Aprah. Roll yourself in the dust. Pass by in nakedness and shame, you inhabitant of Shaphir. The inhabitant of Sinan has not gone out. The lamentation of Beth Etzel takes from you its standing place. Though the inhabitants of Merath waited for good, yet evil came down from Yahuwah to the gate of Jerusalem. See, even the evil comes. The Most High makes all of it, and it's for a reason. And I can tell you that reason anytime you want to come ask. I can prove to you why it is he makes both evil and good. And it's for your benefit. Because if he didn't, you would be a robot, a slave. You wouldn't have free choice. But you do have the freedom of choice, free will. That's a gift. O inhabitant of Lachish, harness the chariot to the horse. She was the beginning of sin to the daughter of Sion, for the transgressions of Yasharal were found in you. Therefore you shall give parting gifts to Moresheth Gath, the houses of Achzib becoming a deception to the sovereigns of Yasharal. Again I shall bring a dispossessor to you, O inhabitant of Mareshah. The esteem of Yasharal shall come to Adullam. It left. And he told us that was going to happen. He had Nebuchadnezzar come in, wiped them out. The Gnosticaries. Make yourself bald and cut off your hair for the children of your delight. Enlarge your baldness like an eagle, for they shall be exiled from you. All code words. Don't think for a second that he used the word eagle just because. These are words to let you know where he's talking about. They were exiled from the place that enlarged their baldness like an eagle. Woe to those plotting wickedness and working out evil upon their beds. In the light of the morning they practice it, because it is in the might of their hand. And they coveted fields and seized them, also houses, and took them away. And they oppressed a man and his house, a man and his inheritance. Would you say that lying to man and telling him his inherited land is on the other side of the world? But that's not what the end result is that the world don't even care about their inheritance now. We're so far removed from it. We've been told so many lies about it that the world don't even consider it. But if you read the word and tremble over it like you should, you can't not see it. The whole word is telling you about your inherited land. And you know why? Because why would it be that you would have to take your inheritance? Why that is because the Most High Abba Yahuwah, he's real. This is real. This isn't a game or a fantasy. He really did make this place. He really did make you. And he has something he wants to give you. He wants to give, as his son or daughter, he has an inheritance he wants to leave for you, give to you. But you have to come and take it. You can't just say, that's nonsense, I don't have to, but I'm going to get it when I die, or I'm going to get it after I get raptured. Do you hear yourself? Do you hear what you just said? Yeah, it's nonsense now, but you'll get it. So you've turned in, I see that everybody has a TikTok mindset, and they have a Grubhub mindset. They don't want to leave their house. They want the food delivered to their face. They Netflix, everything. They want it on demand. They want the kingdom on demand. But newsflash, breaking news, buckaroos. It ain't going down like that. It's not hard to take your inheritance. There's parts of it that are going to be hard. You're going to have to walk away from everybody you know and love because they don't want it, just like everybody else. They think it's nonsense now, in reality. But that's that rude awakening that they're going to wake up to when they realize all they had to do was come take it. But they refused. They laughed at it and mocked the person who told them. So how the enemy is oppressing man is his house and his inheritance, just like I've been saying, like we've been saying. And just think about it. That's the Most High is gonna tell you right here in Micah that is the threshing at the end. The whole world and most of the believers are cheerleading the image of the beast, the synagogue of Satan. Why do you think the Messiah made such a big point in the beginning of Revelations to let us know? He said, I'm giving up those who say they are Yahudim, but lie. They're the synagogue of Satan. Why do you think all through Revelations, that's what Revelations is all about? He set up his throne. We know this. The enemy wanted to set his throne on high, like the Most High. That's what that star represents. And he went and he wouldn't tell you where the throne is, where the city is, Yerushalayim, so you could go there and do that which is continual and find salvation, your escape. He wouldn't do that. The end. In the end, the Most High told us from front to back that there would be an imposter, a trap, a snare set up for those who aren't reading the Word, who say they love the Most High, they want all the blessings and all that, and they want to be seen as a good person, but they're not doing the work. They're not rolling their sleeves up, suited and booted in this Word to find the truth in this Word, because they don't believe it's there. They think they know all they need to know, but they refuse their inheritance. It's madness, absolute madness. Therefore, thus said Yahuwah, see, against this clan I am planning evil, from which you did not remove your necks. You did not remove your necks. There you go. And you can remove your neck at any time from their yoke, but you like it over there. You don't want the inheritance right now. You ain't got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. That's what you're saying right now, right? They did not remove their necks, nor walk proudly, for this is a time of evil. It's a time of evil. In that day, one shall lift up a proverb against you, and he shall lament with a bitter lamentation and say, we have been utterly ravaged. He changes the inheritance of my people. How he removes it from me. He apportions our fields to the backslider. Any idea who that guy could be? That's saying that lifts up a proverb in this time? Telling everybody that we've been utterly ravaged. Our inheritance has been taken from us. And we've been sold a counterfeit. It's the image of the beast, the abomination that lays waste. And all we got to do is come to the true place where all this evidence, all this guilty is charged, throw away the key, damning, concrete confirmation is to prove to you that our home is in Utah, America, and that place over there, and even see, even if that was the real place, you don't even want to go there. You ain't willing to go take your inheritance. You think this is all a game. The whole world does. That's because he removed your inheritance. Therefore you shall have no one in the assembly of Yahuwah to divide the land by lot. Do you see? He's talking about what I've been talking about. The message, I mean, you should have gotten the message by now. It's just, it's sad that no one's here with me. You do not preach, they preach. Yeah, that sounds about right. They do not preach to these. Reproaches are not turned back. See, this verse 6 will confirm, it will validate everything I've been saying to you the last year or so, the last 8 months. Or year, yeah, the last year. The world is preaching. All these people that ain't saying nothing about the reproaches. What did he say? He said, you do not preach, they preach. But the ones who are allowed to preach, who are making the money out here, you know, they're getting all the likes and the subscription, all that. They are the only ones that are allowed to preach. Someone that's talking about the fact that our inheritance has been changed and taken away from us, and that's what's utterly ravaging us. No one wants to hear that. That's why it says you do not preach. But the ones that are allowed to preach, that are doing all the preaching, they don't preach about the fact that we're being utterly ravaged because of our inheritance and that it's been changed because the image of the beast is Isis Ra-El. And the whole world has been hoodwinked and it's on its way out. And if you don't think so, he said it would be just like in the days of Noah, right? Well, did the people outside of the boat, Noah's Ark, did they get to come into the boat? They died. This is just like what happened back then. This is an extermination event. And it's everyone just like back then. It's suicide. It's a mass suicide because everyone is taking their own life. No one's following the Lamb. So it's just like back then. He's given us the instructions on how to build the ark. And that's in this word right here. Find Yerushalayim. Find out that that there'd be an imposter and that we'd be lied to about it, about where our home is. Follow the Lamb back home and live. That's the witness against you. If you're willing to do that, that proves to the Most High that you're serious about this marriage you say you want to enter with him. No one's preaching that. That's just like today, isn't it? The same things that are happening today is what we've been reading about. Right there, what we just read so far. Are you called house of Jacob? Has the spirit of Yahuwah been limited? Are these his doings? Do not my words do good to the one walking uprightly? Wink, wink, walking back home. That's what he's getting at. I assure you. His words told us where to walk to. And lately, my people have risen up as an enemy. You strip off the robe with the garment from those who trust you as they pass by those returning from battle. You have driven the women of my people from their pleasant houses. You have taken away my splendor from their children forever. Arise and go, for this is not your rest, because uncleanness destroys, and the destruction is grievous. If a man walking after wind and falsehood has lied, I preach to you of wine and of strong drink. Well, I want to pause for a second. Back to verse 10. Because uncleanness destroys and the destruction is grievous. That reminded me of, I talk about baptism once in a while, and most people have no idea what baptism symbolizes. The water symbolizes the truth that comes from the Most High's word. So baptism is symbolic of you being washed clean in the word of the Most High, in the truth. That's what it means to walk in the Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh. That means you walk in the truth, in the spirit of truth that comes from the Most High's word. You no longer are willing to live lies. You demand the truth. And so what that verse 10 reminded me of is, why do you think the Messiah washed their feet? And why that's symbolic, why a lot of people do that at Passover. Most people don't think about that. Well, if the water is the truth and baptism is what I just told you it is, what would be the significance of doing your feet, washing your feet like that? Someone else's feet. The Messiah, the Word, will wash your feet clean. When you realize that you must go in and go out in order to be blessed. You must follow the Lamb to your inheritance. If a man walking after wind and falsehood has lied, I preach to you of wine and of strong drink. He shall be the preacher of this people. And that's why I wanted to pause and tell you that why I thought of it about verse 10 was because right here in verse 11, there's something else that's huge that, maybe a lot of people aren't aware of. When it says strong drink and wine in the word, unless he's talking about someone sitting at a table drinking wine, if it's like this in prophecy, he's not talking about literal wine and strong drink. He's talking about lies from the word. Wine makes you merry, right? Well, the new wine that is going to fade away is this lie about the rapture, and once saved, always saved. All you have to do is say some words and accept someone into your heart, but you get to call him and his Father every blasphemous name there is. That's a new wine, because the whole world believes that they can do that, all the believers anyways. And that's what the preachers preach. If I got up in front of an audience and tried to tell the message I'm sharing right now to that audience, they would lynch my ass. They don't want to hear that. They want to hear prosperity. They want to hear that everything's great and that they can stay where they are and they don't have to think about their inheritance. That's that wine and the strong drink. And the people love it. They eat it up. And those preachers preaching that, which it's everyone, they all have plenty followers. He shall be the preacher of this people. I shall certainly gather all of you, O Jacob. I shall bring together the remnant of Yasharal, put them together like sheep of the fold, like a flock in the midst of their pasture. they being noisy because of men. The breach maker shall go up before them. They shall break out and pass through the gate and go out by it. And their sovereign pass before them with Yahuwah at their head. Their sovereign, that's the word, that's the Messiah, the truth, the Lamb, the way, the life. And the breach maker, the breach, it's being given up right now. Just like in Revelations when Messiah says, I'm giving up those who say they're Yahudim. That's what the end's all about. That's why you're seeing Isis Rael in the news. That's why all this stuff's happening right now to them. Ever since the flying scroll landed on the tarmac in Isis Rael on October 5th, that's what's been happening. The skirts getting lifted up, and her nakedness, her shame is being exposed to the world. And the truth of our home has came out, and there will be people who find it and return home, and they live. And that will be their witness. That's what's going to witness against them. But anyone who denies even looking into this truth, that right there, those Nikes witness against you. They tell the Most High that you didn't have the time. That what you were doing, where your house is, where you live, what you got going on, your job, your money, whatever it is, was far more important than even looking into this truth. I pray that's not you, my friend. I'm saying this in hopes that I can ignite some kind of hunger to someone, some kind of desire in someone to pick up the word and understand that the goal, the way the world, the believers, preachers, whoever who has told you how to live your life, that what they've told you is lies. And it might not have been intentional. They might have been lied to themselves. But whatever the case is, you've been lied to. We've all been lied to. And that your salvation, your refuge, your inheritance, it's right here waiting for you to come and take it. All you have to do is take it.